Hey, it's Brian Piercy here with Real Estate Moto. So you may have previously caught the longer version of the community video for the Strand, or the Breakers Boutique is what I still call it, but that's still going to be on the back end of this. I just felt like I wanted to do a more kind of relevant update for 2020 as we move into the first part of 2021. So as you probably heard, the second home market across the country really exploded this past year, which was a pretty amazing result considering the world we lived in. And we saw a lot of that here in the Myrtle Beach area. I really saw it more specifically with the second homes that were not as highly reliant upon the rental income compared to a building like the Strand. That being said, there was certainly still really good demand for the building. And I think a lot of the buyers I'm working with today realized the incomes were down in 2020. I don't think they expect to get them back to 2019 numbers, but I think most people expect they'll bump back up this year as we hopefully get beyond the pandemic and people get a little bit back to normal from a vacation rental perspective. But across the board in Myrtle Beach, kind of Grand Strand area, two pretty telling trends. So our inventory has really dropped a ton. As a result, our prices have really bumped up a pretty good amount. That's again looking at the whole market from homes, condos, lands, on the beach, off the beach, the work. So the vacation rental market, I think, didn't see quite that same result. We had, again, going back to the rental income and kind of the uncertainty with rental income, the buyers that I'm working with in a lot of cases are a little bit more hesitant. So prices were, in a lot of cases, bumped down for the vacation rentals. The Strand specifically really saw prices hold pretty firm to where they were previously, which is a good thing for your building. So jumping in quickly to the stats for 2020 and what we saw in the building, there were 6 sales. Interestingly, I sold 4 of the 6, by the way, so if you want to sell, I'm certainly the person to talk to, but 4 or 5 of those sales were actually efficiencies or studios. So a lot of times those are selling to individuals, and the 4 that I sold, people were buying them really pretty much for rental income purposes. But 5 of those efficiencies and 1 of the 3 bedrooms sold. So the efficiencies went from 99 to 105, pretty consistent to where they were. The 1 3-bedroom was one of the big ones on the front that sold for $300,000, which is pretty close to where they were the previous year as well. So your current inventory, this is again first quarter here as we're getting into 2021. 5 different units on the market, 1 bedroom, 3 2-bedrooms, and a 3-bedroom as well. So pretty spread out. Those studios have all just zipped and sold super quickly, right in that $100,000 range. But this is normally the time of year we're moving into the best time of year from a buyer standpoint, to jump on something from an income perspective, and usually from a seller perspective to try to get someone to give you a premium price-wise. So not a bad time to get it out there. It'll be interesting to see as we move into this year kind of where the demand will go. I still think you're in a great building. And again, I think incomes will improve and jump back pretty quickly for the Strand as we move into this year. So if you would like an updated valuation on your property, if you're potentially interested in seeing what's on the market or want to get a list of updates when new stuff hits the market, I'd love to help you out. So just shoot me your email address below. Otherwise, stay around for the longer community video. If you haven't seen that, it goes into the history, floor plans of the Strand, and a few more details. So thanks again. Hope you have a great 2021. It's Brian Piercy with Real Estate Moto. All right, so you probably made your way to this video because you are either interested in the condos here at the Breakers Boutique, also known as the Strand, or more likely you may be an owner already in the project. So if you're interested in just live updates, plug in your email address below and we'll get you updated on regular listings, new prices in the building. But hopefully you can watch this video. It's a pretty cool kind of history of the building, how it's gone from a hotel to condos, how it's kind of changed and rebranded since then. So my name is Brian Piercy. I am the broker owner of Real Estate Moto. I've been the last couple of years the #1 selling oceanfront agent in our market. I've actually represented the buyer, seller, or both on 27 transactions here at the Breakers Boutique. I still call it the Breakers Boutique. Some of you newer owners may call it the Strand. So quick history about the building. There are 87 total condos. It was actually built in 1987 as a hotel. It was converted to condos in 2004 and sold out at that time. So back then, it was actually one of my first on-site offices here. It was called the Breakers Boutique. It was what we called a conversion project. The Hoffman Group, great marketing company in town, did the conversion and the sale of that project at that point in time. So it's a mixture of everything from studios to 3 bedrooms. Studios, 1s, 2s, 3 bedrooms, a bunch of different configurations and lockouts in the building as well. So there's everything from a 3 bedroom that you can actually use as 3 different studios or 1 bedrooms, or use it all as 1 big 3 bedroom. So kind of a unique building in town, at least as far as the makeup. Back in 2004, when they did that conversion and called the building the Breakers Boutique, they actually went with kind of a Greek goddess theme. So the buildings had names like the Zeus, the Apollo, Athena, Aphrodite. No one really uses those terms anymore today as far as the floor plans, except for some of us old school agents that still were involved with it back then in 2004. But jumping forward to 2015, the building, the management company on site actually rebranded the building, named it the Strand. So any of you owners in the last 4 or 5 years, you may only know the building as the Strand. But at that point, what they actually did a pretty substantial interior renovation, did a really good renovation of the common areas, created a kind of a cool kind of bar lounge area on the main floor, and along with that wanted to rebrand the building. It really helped values, it really helped incomes bump up as they really did that, and again went from the Breakers Boutique to the Strand in 2015, give or take. So sales history is pretty wild with the building, pretty common to kind of the rest of the market. So what we do is I look at kind of the price per foot. Since there's such different styles and sizes, the price per foot is the most relevant sort of value gauge that we can look at. So when it was converted to condos, the average developer price back then was about $220 a foot. That was 2004. The market here across the country really just took off in 2005 and 2006. So they literally over the course of of a 1 year to the next went from 220 to over 400, about $440 per square foot. So an amazing increase in values, and then really started to sort of dip off from there. Again, pretty similar to the rest of the market. 2011, they bottomed out on $135, $138 a square foot, and then we've had a slow, kind of decent recovery since then. Over the last 8-9 years or so, we're back up to about $220 a foot over the last year and a half of sales. So I think overall the future looks bright for the building. Again, the incomes have really improved since they've done a bunch of the interior renovations. Again, what I'm doing and what I do for a lot of clients, we call it some of our exclusive communities, where if you're interested in sort of regular updates, if you want to see new listings when they hit the market, new price changes when they come out throughout the building, I've got a ton of owners in different buildings up and down the beach that we set them up on kind of just a regular campaign to get those instantly live updates from our MLS. So it's a great way for you as an owner to keep a gauge on the value of your condo. If you're interested in the building, it's a great way to kind of keep a gauge on the inventory and what's out there and what's hitting the market as well. So love to get you updates. If you personally have a property and would like a personal valuation, certainly can help with that as well. So plug in your email address below.